sudden they're buying equipment that's not as good and they're spending more money doing it. We're not going to be doing that stuff anymore. Remember this. I'll have spent over $100 million of my money running for office. And some of these people said, and they say it all the time, they said, one in particular said, you don't realize what you've done. Never been done before. You don't realize. It doesn't matter whether or not you win or lose. It makes no difference. What you've done for political history. I said, let me tell you a little secret. Okay. If we don't win on November 8th, it will be the greatest waste of time, energy. You ever hear that word before? Energy? You ever hear the word? Low energy. He didn't sign he signed that pledge, but a couple of those guys that signed the pledge, they signed the pledge because they wanted me to sign the pledge. And then when they lost, they never got beaten so badly in their lives, folks. But when they lost, they didn't honor the pledge that they signed. I was actually surprised. Only a few of them. Most of them did. Many of them, Ben Carson, and a lot of great people. Mike Huckabee's been great. Chris Christie. We've had a lot of great support. We've had a lot of great, especially from the real world. A couple of our leaders aren't, it's not working out for them so well. But I will tell you this. We are going to have an amazing victory on November 8th. We're going to come back here and celebrate, but we're going to have an amazing victory. Because this is all about the people. This is now about the people. So let me just tell you, I was talking about jobs. And when you get, I feel the same way. When you get to the different places within our country and you see how our companies are being sucked out into Mexico and other places, here's what's going to happen. I go to Indiana and I see Carrier Air Conditioning. 1,400 people that followed me all over Indiana, so many of them, so much support. They were fired. They were there for some of them 25 years longer. They were fired. Carrier announced that they're moving to Mexico. They're going to build a brand new plant, and they're going to make air conditioners. And they're going to sell the air conditioners into our country and other places. And we are fools, so we're just going to say, oh, go ahead. You fire all these people in Indianapolis, and you're going to do this not if I'm president. All right. Ford announced 2 weeks ago that they're moving the production of their smaller cars. That's a big production. To Mexico. From our country. And by the way, the reason we're doing well in Michigan and in Ohio is because they know that I've been talking about automobile production. And I've been pointing out what's happening to automobile production and where it's moving. And I've been talking about it for 5 years. Crooked Hillary just started talking about it. And let me tell you, just like she failed in New York State with jobs, she's never bringing your businesses back, folks. She's never bringing your businesses back. And she's going to give you massive tax increases. Massive. And I'm cutting taxes massively. So here's the story. For years and years, you've been hearing that companies are moving out. Who better than North Carolina to know exactly what happened, right? You people have lost a lot of businesses. Not going to happen anymore. So whether it's Ford, whether it's Carrier, whether it's somebody else, we hear somebody's leaving, we're going to say, we hope you stay and let's talk. Nobody talks to these companies, by the way. Do you think anybody talked from the federal government to Carrier or to Ford? They just do whatever they want to do. But nobody talks. You got to go see them. You got to cajole. You got to be nice. And if it doesn't work out, you'll tax the hell out of their product coming back in. Sure. So what happens is for years and years, that's right. For years and years, they've been talking about how do we keep our companies in North Carolina? How do we keep our companies in these different states? And they'd give interest-free loans, and they give all sorts of goodies. They didn't need the money. They wanted to leave. They didn't need the money. So I've been talking for the last 6 months. I said it's very simple. I mean, I do it before I said a sentence. What you do is you say the following. Carrier, are you staying or are you leaving? Well, we're leaving. By the way, nobody's going to leave once you tell them what's happened. Nobody's leaving. So they're leaving because they're a little early. And you say to them, though, assuming you had, as an example, if I were made by a president Secretary of Keeping Businesses in the United States, okay, I'll be, instead of Secretary of State, Secretary of Keeping Businesses. Not a very glamorous title, but boy, would I be good at that. Because I would call up the head of Carrier as an example. And I would say, congratulations on your new plant in Mexico. Yes, I agree it's warm, but I hear it's going to be a lovely place. And if you move, and we don't want you to move, there are consequences. He'll say, what are the consequences? He'll say, every single time you make an air conditioning unit in Mexico, and you think, after firing all of these people in Indianapolis, you're going to take that unit, have it come across the border with no tariffs, no taxes, you're 100% wrong. We're going to charge you. We're going to charge you, very importantly, we're going to charge you a 35% tax for any unit that you need. Now, here's what's going to happen. Number one, very strongly, nobody's going to leave. But if they do leave, that, 1%, 2%, believe me, nobody's leaving. If I'm that secretary, nobody's leaving. But if they do leave, we're going to make a fortune. So it's okay either way, right? Ladies, right? Because we cannot afford to continue to lose our companies. We're losing our companies. We're losing our jobs. We cannot afford to lose our jobs. We cannot afford to lose our manufacturing. So it's going to all come to an end. It's going to all come to an end. We are going to keep our companies. We are going to expand our companies. We are reducing taxes, the biggest tax decrease since Ronald Reagan, and could even be bigger than that. Our companies are going to stay. Our companies are going to expand, and our companies are going to thrive. In addition, new companies will be started, and new jobs will happen. And we will produce 25 million jobs over a period of 10 years, as sure as you're standing there. And I'd give you seats, but there were too many people, sorry. So whether it's Carrier, yes. Oh, is that Carrier air conditioner? What's he talking about? Oh, you don't have the speaker? I'll tell you, whoever runs this place is not doing very well. You don't have the speaker. They said, do you hear me over there? Great job, fellas. So now we don't have to pay for this, and now we don't have to pay for that? Man. Who the hell runs this place? They say the speakers don't work. And I was having so much fun without these damn teleprompters, right? But can you hear me okay? Can you hear me over there? You're good enough. See, there, I wouldn't deduct full, but I'll take 30% off the price for the country. So we'll keep our jobs. We'll thrive. We're going to thrive. We're not going to give Iran, we're not going to give them $400 million in cash that turned out to be $1.7 billion in cash. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? $1.7 billion in cash. We're giving them $150 billion. And now, look at what's going on. We've emboldened them. Instead of making them our friends, this incompetent president, he is incompetent. We've emboldened. I mean, this guy, all he does is campaign for crooked Hillary. Look, he doesn't want Trump because Trump is going to be much different. First of all, one of my first acts is to get rid of his ridiculous health care that doesn't work. I wonder who pays for that big plane when he flies in to campaign for Hillary. I know the answer. You know what happens? The campaign pays for a tiny little fraction. A tiny little fraction. Is that good or bad? Oh, they just got it working. All right, we'll give them 20% off. Good. Sounds much better, right? Good voice, right? All right, good. Thank you, fellas. That's great. So, we are going to, well, we have no choice, repeal and replace Obamacare. Now, you saw what happened. The governor of Minnesota came out. He said the Affordable Care Act is not affordable. It's a disaster. Hey, folks, it is a disaster. Hillary Clinton wants to save it. She wants to spend a fortune. Your premiums are going to go up next year over 100%. This year, you look at Texas, you look at your area, you look at everywhere, they're going up 50, 60, 70, 80%. It's gone. It's busted. It's broken. It doesn't work. And I told you it didn't work before it was signed, right? Because I know this stuff. I'm pretty good at this stuff. It is a disaster. We're going to have a new health care plan that's going to cost much less money, both for you and for the country. And it's going to be a much higher quality health care. Remember, you can have your doctor, you can have your plan 28 times, right? 28 times he said it. 28 times. Hillary Clinton, when she was at the State Department, $6 billion was found to be missing. You saw that, right? This is what we're going to have for our president. So here's the story. We are going to have a great, great, vibrant country again. We're going to have jobs. We're going to have jobs. We're going to bring back in new jobs. But we're going to take care of things that have never been taken care of. You know what that is? The inner cities. We have inner cities where the crime rate is beyond belief. The levels of poverty are hard to believe we're in this country.